Uber and Lyft have built multi-billion-dollar businesses by disrupting the traditional taxi and transportation industry. With the convenience of smartphone apps, their rideshare platforms quickly spread to cities across America and globally. But the secret to Uber and Lyft's rapid growth and profitability lies in a controversial worker classification. Rather than treating the drivers as employees, these companies consider them to be independent contractors, running their own businesses. This contractor model allows Uber and Lyft to legally avoid paying employment taxes and providing basic worker protections like minimum wage, overtime, and paid sick leave. It's a lucrative loophole that has sparked legal challenges from multiple states who argue the companies are violating long-standing labor laws. In Massachusetts, New Jersey, and California, among other places, government audits have determined that Uber and Lyft owe hundreds of millions of dollars in unpaid unemployment insurance and disability fund contributions based on their contractor classification. In this video, we will look at how contractor labeling enables Uber and Lyft to avoid paying their fair share of taxes. We'll examine the costs this tax avoidance imposes on workers, law-abiding businesses forced to subsidize the deficit, and the social safety nets millions rely upon. The crux of Uber and Lyft's tax avoidance strategy is forcing drivers to accept take-it-or-leave-it contracts that label them as independent contractors running their own businesses, not employees of the rideshare companies. Both companies claim this contractor model provides drivers with the flexibility to set their own hours and be their own bosses. In reality, Uber and Lyft maintain significant control and direction over how drivers do their jobs. Through the phone apps, the companies monitor drivers' acceptance rate and performance ratings and can penalize or permanently deactivate those who don't follow their detailed requirements around picking up rides and passenger behavior. Algorithms also tightly control key earning factors like surge pricing multiples. Government audits in Massachusetts, New Jersey, and other states have found that Uber and Lyft drivers fail to meet the legal tests for true independent contractors. The drivers provide services that are a core and integrated part of the company's usual businesses of passenger transportation. Without the drivers, Uber and Lyft could not exist. For companies that have long struggled to turn a profit, classifying drivers as contractors provides enormous cost savings. This strategy circumvents a wide range of labor laws and business taxes that traditional employee model companies must pay. Audits and investigations have attempted to quantify just how much these companies have deprived public safety net programs. In Massachusetts, state auditors estimated that in 2023 alone, Uber and Lyft failed to pay approximately $47 million in unemployment taxes by treating drivers as contractors. In New Jersey, the companies were eventually forced to pay $100 million to the state's unemployment and disability funds after an audit determined they misclassified drivers and deprived the funds of contributions from 2014 to 2018. And in California, it was estimated that between 2014 and 2019, Uber and Lyft would have owed $413 million to the state's unemployment insurance program had drivers been properly classified as employees. These are just the audited figures from a few states. The nationwide total owed by rideshare companies and the greater gig economy is likely in the billions and growing every year. When companies like Uber and Lyft don't pay their fair share into unemployment insurance and disability programs, it depletes the funds that cover payments to laid-off workers, accidents on the job, paid family leave, and other crucial benefits. This burden then gets shifted onto law-abiding businesses who do properly classify their workers as employees. To make up for the shortfall caused by companies avoiding contributions, states may be forced to raise tax rates on compliant employers. Their taxes essentially subsidize the tax avoidance of the gig economy giants. In addition to depriving state funds and burdening compliant businesses, Uber and Lyft's independent contractor strategy creates an uneven playing field in the transportation industry. By misclassifying drivers as contractors, these companies gain a major cost advantage over competitors that follow employment laws. Taxi companies, limousine services, and other transportation providers who treat their workers as employees must pay unemployment taxes, workers' comp premiums, overtime wages, and provide other costly labor protections. Uber and Lyft avoid all of these expenses. This allows the gig giants to significantly undercut competitors on pricing for rides and deliveries. Smaller companies simply cannot compete with the artificially low labor costs enabled by Uber and Lyft's contractor model. In fact, there are reports of traditional transportation businesses being driven out of markets or shutting down because they could not match Uber and Lyft's pricing, fueled by employment law non-compliance. While Uber and Lyft avoid taxes and gain competitive advantages, it's the drivers themselves who pay the ultimate price for being labeled contractors rather than employees. By classifying them this way, the companies are able to legally deprive workers of basic rights and protections. As independent contractors, drivers have no guarantee of receiving minimum wage or overtime pay for long hours worked. There are no requirements for paid sick days, family leave, or any employer-provided benefits. If a driver is injured on the job, they are not covered by workers' compensation insurance and must pay their own medical costs. If they lose their job driving for Uber or Lyft, they cannot claim unemployment benefits since the companies didn't pay into those funds. Drivers classified as contractors also forfeit the right to unionize and collectively bargain for better pay and conditions. They cannot join together to advocate for workplace changes. On top of being denied these fundamental labor rights, drivers must also pay vehicle costs like gas, maintenance, and insurance premiums completely out of pocket with zero reimbursement from Uber or Lyft. If drivers want to challenge issues like underpayment of wages, unfair dismissals, or any of the company's other policies, the contractor agreements make it extremely difficult by forcing arbitration instead of allowing court cases. Until labor regulations catch up with these 21st century employment models, companies like Uber and Lyft will continue capitalizing on this avoidance of business taxes and a race to the bottom in worker treatment. Thanks for watching.